We said earlier on today that we'll be looking at the UN, we'll be talking about the UN Tourism Week that will take place this month. This month, actually. So let's just break it down. Okay, so the UN World Tourism Day 2025, it will take place from 24th September all the way mpaka 28th September, 24th to 27th September. In studio, I'm going to say it again. We have Mohamed Osman Ali. He's the CECM Tourism, Culture, Trade, Mombasa County. Mohamed, good morning.
Morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Last year, we had a similar conversation around tourism. Was it World Tourism Week? That took place in Mombasa, and there was a tuk-tuk rally that I was so excited about last year. Could you give us a recap of what happened during the tourism week and the outcome of that?
Thank you, and thank you for hosting me once again.
You're welcome.
And you remember last year, a time like this, I was here talking about this first tuk-tuk rally to be done in Africa and the second one in the world. And the main objective of doing this is one, we want to promote Mombasa as a destination. And to do this, we must bring a lot of activities. And it has been something that we've been looking forward for. And when we're talking about bringing this tuk-tuk rally here, people had a different perception of the tuk-tuks. Now, I want to bring another dimensions. How we can use positively these tuk-tuks, because these tuk-tuks are signature products in Mombasa, and we must appreciate, like in a town, there must be something unique, and tuk-tuk has been becoming a unique. It is a last milestone for us. This being a circular economy, Mombasa being a circular economy, and that's why now we want to bring the other side of it. How can we use tuk-tuk other than the carrying passages, and this is something that we're trying to bring up through those rallies. And main objective of these rallies is not about entertainment, it's about positioning Mombasa in terms of bringing tourism, but in terms of having new experiences, and this is what we're trying to achieve. And alhamdulillah, we've seen some milestone, we've seen some sponsors coming in. Every time it's becoming bigger, and this is the second tuk-tuk rally. It become our signature events that now we agree that just like other cities, that we must have an event that people look forward for. People are coming, the traffic comes into Mombasa, so looking out for these things.
I like that. So let's look at this year's World Tourism Week in Mombasa. What are the main goals that you want to achieve during this year's World Tourism Week?
As I echoed before, this is not about entertainment only.
Yes.
We have a bigger plans, and that's why we're talking about tuk-tuk. It's not want to see the first tuk-tuk drive known. This is more than an entertainment. One, you remember that we want to train our tuk-tuk drivers. Remember last year we had a 30 when we doing tuk-tuk. All the 30s went through some training. And this week, when we are starting on Wednesday, they'll have a refresher course at the Swahili Port, and then we'll be given their certificates. And if you ask this tuk-tuk, if you go and get story from this tuk-tuk, those tuk-tuk were earning 1,000 per day. Today they were able to be engaged by tourists, being paid $100, $200, and that is our pride, that we've changed now something. That this tuk-tuk driver, apart from passengers, they're carrying the tourists, becoming our ambassadors, because they're the first people who get in touch with these tourists, and the positive impact that these tourists get, they live with it, and that's why we train them in customer care. We train them in our heritage sites, and that is what we have been taking them. So this 30, the first cohort of 30, we took them through training, and this week on Wednesday, they'll go for 1 day refresher course, and they'll be given the certificates. What do you want to achieve here? In a tourism industry, the stakeholders, we want to engage them, tell them now, please brand these people, make sure you use them, instead of because you see, people want different things. You've been in New York, you've been in Miami, you've been using those taxis, but this time you want to get something different. That's why when you go to Lamu, you feel like you need to ride on a donkey. If you go to a new town, you need to do something different from what you've been doing, and that's why now we want to brand them, and then they change that course.
I remember we, like I said, we had this conversation last year, and that was the same plan of using tuk-tuks, the tuk-tuk drivers as tour guides, right? For when tourists come here, to build that trust and that trust with the tourists. Did we ever achieve it, or was it a conversation that we had last year? Now we're doing it again this year.
And that's why I'm telling you, come on Wednesday at Swahili Port.
Yes.
You see 30 the tuk-tuk drivers
Yes.
who went a 1 week training.
Okay.
They're going for a refresher course and then be given the certificate by Utalii College. That tells you something. That there's some positive step that we have made.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, we encourage a cleaner, greener mobility through tuk-tuks, and that is why we're trying to make sure that we are phasing out the diesel tuk-tuk, we're phasing out and then coming up with the greener mobility. And that is our goal, aligned to our goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's called the UN World Tourism Day 2025. The UN World Tourism Day. How is the United Nations part of this?
Yeah, it's part of it because also we're trying to align with the global goals of UN and Sustainable Development Goal number 13, which talks about climate action. And that's why this theme was anchored on that one, tourism and sustainable transformation. And this is what we're bringing on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, because I was going to ask you about why we arrived at the theme tourism and sustainable transformation. What message are you hoping to send locally, regionally, and then globally with the theme tourism and sustainable transformation?
Yeah, you see, as a country, as a county, we also need to align with the Sustainable Development Goals, and particularly SDP number 13. We talk about the climate change. This is what we're able to, these are things that we're doing to make sure that we align with those goals that we are there.
Okay. So in what ways is climate change affecting tourism in Mombasa at the moment?
Of course, you know the beaches.
Yeah.
You see how the beaches have been polluted.
Yes.
You've seen the litters in the town, the environment. Those are the things that the town needs to be green.
Yeah.
You need to go in the parks, see that people go and rest. And these are something that we're trying to build on.
Yeah.
Parks being green, people going to the parks, the beaches are clean, litters are collected in a responsible manner. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the county, how is the country preparing to elevate climate action, or rather climate change in the tourism sector?
Fine. You see, we also have a department in its own Department of Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Yeah.
We're working with them hand in hand to make sure that, of course, there are strategic objectives which have been already laid out by that department. Us as a Department of Tourism, just to make sure that we plug into that strategic plans that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
Waziri.
Yes.
Utalii ni moja ya vitu ambavyo kwamba kando na kwamba vinaburudisha, vinaleta raha, ni pia vinatumika kwenye kujenga uchumi. Ukiachana na hawa ambao kwamba wanakwenda kupata mafunzo ili kukuza uchumi kwa staili yake tofauti. Ni fursa gani nyingine ambazo kwamba zipo kwa ajili ya vijana ili kubeba na kuikuza hii siku yenyewe?
Nafikiri utangulizi wangu mkubwa kwamba ni kwamba sisi katika hizi masiku ambayo tumesema, katika masiku ambayo tumesema, siku hizi karibu 4 ambao tutasherehekea hizi sherehe ya World Tourism Day. Hatuanze tuk-tuk ni moja ya vitu ambazo tunalifanya. Pia tunaangalia kwamba tumechukua wale wafanyikazi wadogo wale, na Mombasa ijulikana katika mambo yake, maandali yake, machakula. Kwa hivyo kuna wafanyikazi, wanabiashara wadogo wale ambao wauza chakula za Kiswahili, karibu 30 tumeweka pale Mama Ngina kuanzia tarehe 25 mpaka tarehe 29 watakuwa pale wanauza vyakula. Tuko fursa nzuri sana wakazi wa Mombasa kujitokeza kupromote hawa biashara wadogo ambao watakuwa wanauza chakula ya Kiswahili. Naam.
Okay. Na pengine hao tayari mmesha wajua hawa ndio watakuwa wanaingia, ama kuna mfumo ambao kwamba
ambao tumeitoa? Ni mfumo wenyewe ni kwamba registration ambao imefanywa na mtu ameelezea chakula gani ambao anakuja kupika, na chakula yenyewe lazima ikuwe realign na ile Swahili nini culture yetu ya Mombasa. So tumechagua wa kwanza, kote ya kwanza tumechukua, lakini vile vile ni wazilishi, because tutakuwa kila mwezi sasa pale Mama Ngina. Najua tutataka kutumia Mama Ngina vile vile Zanzibar watumie ile forodhani ya kwamba ukienda Mama Ngina unaweza kupata chakula cha Kiswahili nini. Ukitoka Mombasa ukifikiri pengine unataka kwenda kula chakula Kiswahili, utaangalia Swahili dishes peke yake, ama utaangalia ni hoteli zingine, utakuja pale Mama Ngina utapata chakula kama hizo.
Okay. Now can you walk us through the program highlights? Because I'm seeing there's a fish mesh festival, there's a tuk-tuk race. You've talked about the tuk-tuk race, and then there's also going to be a motor show.
The first day, that is 24 September.
Yeah.
And you remember I told you that last year, the first cohort drivers, we took them through some courses.
Yeah.
And these are drivers that will be doing a capacity building, a refresher, took a rally drivers course. It will be done at Swahili Port. That one will be at Swahili
Port Foundation.
Yeah. That is the first one on 24th. And 25th is meet and greet. That experiences. That's where now we go to the airport. We know through our Excellency Governor Abdul Sharif Nasir, we have been fighting this open sky policy. And alhamdulillah, we've seen success of it. Big success that now we have airlines who come directly to Mombasa. And that is something that we can say is the Department of Tourism, through the leadership of His Excellency Governor Abdul Sharif Nasir, were able to achieve. We've seen Fly Dubai. They've been given now the right to fly 7 times a day. We've seen big Ethiopian airline coming. In Mombasa, in Kenya, last year, 2024, we had international tourist target of 2.5 million. We achieved it. Out of that one, only 8% were able to come directly to Mombasa. This tells you something. Only 200,000 were able to land directly to Mombasa.
Yeah.
Mombasa International Airport is underutilized, and that's why we've been making this noise to national government that we must liberalize open air, so that we have direct flights. Direct flights means we'll have more tourists coming in, and this is something that we can see the results now. And then on that day, meet and great experiences will be going to the airport, because there'll be around 5 airlines which will be landing with the international tourists. We'll be receiving them and giving them some presents to celebrate this day.
Okay, so that's not for those for the guests who will be traveling in to be part of the UN Tourism Week.
Of course, and we are celebrating International Tourism Day. So any guest who's coming up, for international tourists who will be coming in, we'll be giving them the gift, welcoming them, and then we're going back then to SGR also.
Okay.
Don't forget SGR also, a local tourists who are coming in.
Yeah.
We'll go and meet them also, because we want to celebrate with them.
Right.
And then that is when we're going to 27th. That is the grand day now. It will be the grand procession, the Green March, which will be marching all the way from Ivory to Mamangina. We plant the trees there so that we have the theme of tourism and sustainable transformation. After planting trees at Uhuru Gardens, and then walk all the way to Mamangina. That's when we have speeches there.
Yeah.
And then at the same time on 28, you remember, all this time from 25, Fishmish Canary Festival will be ongoing up to 28, while all these things are happening.
Oh, so the Fishmish Culinary Festival. So talk to me about that. What is it? The Fishmish Culinary Festival?
This is part of preserving our culture. Mombasa being known for mishakiki and fish, seafoods. So we call it Fishmish. It's a festival to elevate our culinary experiences here in Mombasa. So it's called a fish mission, where we'll have mishakiki, fishes, and all those things. That thing will start from 25th up to 28th at Mamangina.
Also, this will be happening all through.
All through.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then I'm seeing there's cultural expo, over 20 communities showcasing food, attire, dance, homestays and music at Mamangina waterfront. So the bulk of the event will be taking place at Mamangina
waterfront.
Yeah.
That means on 28th now. Even this cultural expo, well, from 26 they'll be there.
Yeah.
Will be the tents. Different communities will be showcasing their culture. And more prominently the Swahili culture.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at still on the program, 26 September and 27 September, there's Mombasa City Drift and Takeover. What's that about?
I think we had this show drift last time. The vehicles doing their scales, showing their scales.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They're coming again and in a bigger way. So we welcome Mombasa residents. Come and watch the drift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the outcome of all this? What's your expectation of all this?
Expectation is
and
one.
Even the significance of all this.
A significance of one thing is that one, we want to promote Mombasa.
Yeah.
We want to see the traffic coming all the way from international, from up countries.
Yes.
We need to see the inflow. We need to boost our tourist nini. And that's why, and at the same time, we also want to make sure that our circular economy is growing.
Yes.
Making sure that people, the small SMEs are empowered. Yeah.
Okay.
That is purpose and objective. And also promoting Mombasa as a premier destination town.
All right. All right. We are speaking to Mohamed Osman Ali. He is the CECM Tourism, Culture and Trade, Mombasa County. We're looking at UN Tourism Week. We've done a breakdown of what will be happening from the 24th all the way to 27th. So you know what? I know I cannot wait to see what's happening at Mama Ngina. Yes. What?
Yeah, lazima Mama Ngina hiyo wiki lazima uende.
Fishmish.
Wataka tayari.
That's the end goal.
Taka tayari kula umeka.
That's the end goal. We have to anyway. Food has to become number one. When we get back, we'd like to look at the tourism sector in Mombasa broadly. Like what challenges is the tourism sector currently facing, and then also how the county government is working to addressing issues of sustainability. That means when it comes to conserving the beaches, marine ecosystem, cultural heritage, and also just reducing environmental impact. We are speaking to Waziri Mohamed Osman Ali. If you have any question for us, 0700917917, we'll be right back. There will be something happening at Swahili Port Hub Foundation, that is capacity building, refresher training for 2024 tuk-tuk rally drivers. On the 25th of September, there will be a meet and greet experience. That is, we're welcoming guests at Moi International Airport and SGR. 27th September, there's a grand procession that is from the Task to Mama Ngina waterfront. Okay? And then all through this 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, all the way to 28th, there's something that is constant, and that is the Fishmish Culinary Festival, where the coastal food celebration, there will be coastal food celebration with chefs and vendors, and then there will be Culture Expo, where over 20 communities will be showcasing food, attire, dance, homestays, and music at Mama Ngina waterfront. On the 26th September, that is 4 p.m., and 27th September, that is around 2 p.m., Mombasa, there will be Mombasa City Drift and Takeover. And I think this is so exciting. The adrenaline, if you're an adrenaline junkie, this is where you need to be. And then on the 6th, that is 28th September, that will be at Mama Ngina waterfront again. That's the Mombasa Tuk-Tuk Rally that will take place. And then in the evening from 24th all the way to 27th, there will be storytelling and comedy plays at Little Theatre and Mama Ngina. That's a whole plan for you from 24th all the way to 27th. You do not want to miss out. So if you want to get more on this information, I believe, Waziri, there's a social media site for tourism,
yes,
right?
Explore Mombasa.
Yes, Explore Mombasa.
Yes.
All right, go to Explore Mombasa, get more details on this, and also see how you can participate. Waziri, let's now look at tourism as a whole. What are the biggest challenges that are currently facing tourism in Mombasa?
Yeah, thank you. I think per se is not something that is only facing Mombasa,
Okay.
but generally we say what's facing
The tourism
the
sector.
challenges in the tourism
Yes.
sector. One, we find the seasonality. We're talking about the seasonality, and that's why we find that hotels have the peak season, off-peak seasons. What is it that we're doing to avert that one?
Yeah.
It's something that we're looking at, and that's why we're trying to create events when we know it's a low season. That's when we bring in the events. We know our strategic objective is to bring we have got a strategic objective to promote tourism. We bring up what we call sports tourism, making sure that when we're having low season from December to March, we bring in, like we did the rugby 7-a-side, sport tourism. We make sure that there's a traffic, there's something that people want to come to avert that one, to close that gap of the peak seasons. And that's what we're doing. The second thing we're talking about is insecurity. That perception that and you see for tourism, security is very paramount, because the first thing you want to fly to Mombasa, you want to know exactly what is security situations. What is it that we are trying to do on these ones? We've increased security patrols in our key tourist zones, and more so as Mombasa County, we have now a full-fledged unit called Tourism Inspectorate Unit, who are trained now, and the main objective is to make sure that the safety of tourists in these areas are safeguarded. It's something that it has been done, and the first time we've done that one, that we have formed Tourism Inspectorate Unit. Now we're taking them through the training. In terms of the policy, in terms of customer care. And this unit now will be helping us to make sure that in every spot, in every tourist attraction sites, they are there to guide, not only to protect also, but also to guide. It's a tour guide.
Okay. And also now when we look at, I know we have domestic tourism and then international tourism as well. How important is domestic tourism vis-a-vis international tourism for Mombasa's strategy? Is there a way to balance both?
Yeah, the thing is, you see, is as per the act, you see a lot of international tourism is being done by Kenya, KTB, and as a county, we have a role to play also to make sure that we promote local tourism.
Yes.
And the strategies to promote local tourism is one, we're going through culture tourism. We must bring something. What is it that can take you Kenyan all the way from Turkana to Mombasa? There must be something specific about Mombasa, and that's why we're talking about the culture tourism. To promote culture tourism, Mombasa is known for its Swahili culture, and that's why we want to up that game. Make sure that somebody who's in Nairobi, you want to say nitaka kwenda kusikiza nitaka kwenda Mombasa kula chakula za Mombasa ni nini. Those are things that we want to hype. So we are pegging on that culture tourism.
Yes.
The second thing is about sport tourism. You see, tunatoa VP team kutoka rugby 7 side, umeona around 6,000 rugby fans came all the way from Nairobi, Kakamega, all the way to Nairobi. That is the second thing. The other thing is about cruise tourism. Yeah. What is it that we want to do in Mombasa? We want to promote water sport now, Sundowner, the Dows. People know Mombasa for only beaches and for Jesus. So these are new experiences. Mombasa is no longer about destination. It must be about new experiences. Now, what takes you over from your comfort zone of Nairobi ama nini kuja Mombasa? There must be something that inakuvutia inasema, let's go to Mombasa. There's this vibe happening. And these are things that we need to, new experience that we need to build other than the old experience about the beaches and for Jesus.
I like that you've mentioned now, because you're talking about diversifying tourism just beyond the beaches and historical sites, with an understanding of that, and also with owing to the fact that you have been in this position for 3 years.
Yes.
Are we looking at 3 years?
Yeah, we've been 3.5 years.
Yes. You've been in this position for 3 years. Do you think enough has been done in your capacity?
Yeah, you need anything you need to do strategically. Being a leader, being a CEO of the department, you need to do strategically, and you need to build that foundation. The foundation is that you need to analyze. The situation analysis we did when we came in, we found that one, we need to have some acts and policies that guides tourism, and that's why I was working. First thing, I was working on the beach tourism, beach management act, which now is going toward county assembly. One is there must be order and sanity at the beaches. It cannot be business as usual. We cannot be competing with Zanzibar and the rest of the world when our beaches are in this order. And that's the first thing we analyze, and we said we find out what the problem is, and we find that we need up our games in the beach management. This is the first thing that we're doing. Secondly, we've seen over-relying of the same product. So Mombasa has been known for destination, not experiences. We've come up with a team now that makes sure that there is total diversification of this tourism product. We must accurate these new products, and that is a new team that have been put up through Mombasa Tourism Council. I made sure that I have a council which has stakeholders who runs and promote Mombasa, because at the end of it, these are stakeholders who there's that trickle effect. If the tourism grow, the trickle effect to their business. So we put up a Mombasa Tourism Council that now one of their objective and agenda is to make sure that they market Mombasa. And how do they market Mombasa? They have a specific marketing team which will look at the diversification of this tourism product apart from the beaches, and for this, what is this new experience that they bring in. And this is what they have been working out. And believe me, this is what we are experiencing. This is a signature event which will be there. So you can remember this being a signature event that will be bringing around 7,000 to 10,000. This is now new things. People will be coming here not only to the beaches, because we're not talking about the beaches for this event. We're having a traffic flow of around 10,000, not going to the beaches and not going for Jesus. Then this tells you something that we are doing the diversification of the product now. This is one of the products that we are looking at. There are more to come.
Okay.
Waziri, umeitaja Zanzibar mara mbili kwenye mazungumzo yako, mara ya kwanza kule na sasa pia tena umeitaja. Ni kitu gani ambacho kwamba mnakifanya kuona kwamba manake Zanzibar tukisema Unguja, Stone City pale seafront kama vile tu hapa Mama Ngina yeto Mama Ngina waterfront. Ni kitu gani ambacho kwamba Zanzibar wamekifanya mpaka kila tukikaa tutawataja Zanzibar? Kuna baadhi ya Wakenya hapa pia nao wanatoka hapa wanakwenda zao Zanzibar, ambacho pengine kama county ama Mombasa wanaweza wakajifunza pamoja na hivyo vitu vingi ambavyo kwamba umevitaja, ili Mombasa nayo itoke nje zaidi hata Nairobi.
Nafikiri katika utangulizi aliponiuliza nini ambao tunafanya kulibadilisha Mombasa, nini ambao tujivunia kama waziri ambao wa utalii, mambo gani ambao ulikuja tofauti ukayalete. Nilisema kwamba Mombasa ilikuwa inajulikana tu kwa bahari na Fort Jesus na kwenda mapembeni kupiga picha. Sasa lazima tulete vitu tofauti ambao itafutia. Tumeangalia vipi watu wanatoka Mombasa wanaenda Zanzibar, na ukiangalia Zanzibar na Mombasa wako katika wana share the same cultural heritage. Watu ni wale ambao wana share the same thing. So tunaangalia utafiti ambao tumefanya kuona vipi sisi Mombasa tunapokea watu karibu 200,000 na Zanzibar wanapokea karibu 1,000,000. Tofauti ni nini? Na ile utafiti ambao kidogo tumefanya, tumeona kitu moja. Zanzibar bado imedumisha ile nini yake, ile hadhi yake kwamba mila yake. Ukienda sasa Old Town na Stone Town ni kitu kimoja. Lakini ukiingia Stone Town utaona tofauti. Utaona kweli unaingia nini? Kuna utamaduni bado iko pale. So kitu moja kubwa ambalo tunalifanya sasa ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba hii Old Town tunaibadilisha kwa ni heritage town ambao mtu atakuja tembea vile anatembea Zanzibar. Na hiyo nataka mpangilio. Si mpangilio ambao utaifanya kwa mwaka mmoja miaka 2. Ni 5 year strategic plan. Mtu anakuja Old Town utapata vile kama vile Zanzibar iko ile Stone Town. Unatembea unapata nini Old Town Heritage Walk. Ndio moja ajenda kubwa ambayo najivunia kwamba nataka kuiregesha Mombasa katika hadhi yake. Vijana wale kusumbua watu hawako. Mtu watoka Mombasa watembea Old Town angalia, because hauwezi pata Old Town kwingine Kenya hapa. Huwezi enda Nairobi ukasema unajua kuna vitu ambavyo ni tofauti. Nairobi utaenda utapata hoteli kubwa, lakini kushuka wewe mwenyewe kutembea Old Town ukiangalia zile manyumba nini, kutembea ni moja vitu ambavyo tunafanya. Ya pili, ukiangalia umezungumzia ufuoni wa Forodhani pale. Nini ambao utakuja Mombasa? Because Mombasa kuna bahari kama kuna Forodha, si ndio? Muona Mama Ngina sasa. Wale watu ambao walitengeza Mama Ngina wako na katika mawazo hao walibadilisha ile nini, because Mombasa yajulikana katika ile nini yetu. So tunataka kuregesha revitalization of Mama Ngina in the sense that Mama Ngina inakuwa vibe kama ile Old Town. Ukija hata kama ni saa 8 usiku utaweza kuja ukapata chakula, umeelewa,
vyakula nje.
And this is what we're trying. Lakini kuna mvutano between sisi na national government. National government wameikatalia. Na national government hakuna kitu ambao wanalifanya pale. Apart from kuongojea tu kupokea pesa ambao watu wanakuja kulipa. Sisi kama Mombasa County tunahakikisha kwamba tukilipata ile tunaweza kulitumia vile Zanzibar wanalitumia. Kwamba pale kutakuwa na mashara 24 hours nini, mtu yote ambao anakuja, mtalii ambao anakuja wakati wote aweza kuja akatembelea na akapata ile vitu ambao unapata Zanzibar utaipata pale.
Kuna wale vijana walikuja, sijui kama walikuja sijui Cutters of nani, wale divers wanaitwa Zanzibar. Zanzibar dive walikuja hapa wakasema wamekuja kutoa mafunzo. Na wale jamani kama ambaye wameitangaza sana Zanzibar kuliko hata wasanii wao na vitu vingine. Kuna vitu kama hivyo ambavyo kwamba vijana wanaweza wakafanya kwa namna moja au nyingine, Mombasa ikatoka zaidi.
Nilikuwa na meeting na wao kwa walishi, nilikuwa nao siku 2 tumetembea Mombasa. Na kuna vijana ambao tushawafunza kutoka Old Town, vijana wa Old Town. Na karibuni mtaona pia wako katika hii msafara au katika hizi sherehe pia. Wao pia wamejumulika katika hii sherehe. Na mtaona wakifanya vitu kama vile Zanzibar. Alafu pia ndawachukua pia nafasi pia moja waende Zanzibar pia wajumuika na wenzao wapate experience.
Okay. Thank you so much, Osman. But just one last question before we let you go. You've talked about Old Town, and I like that. And there's a beauty about Mombasa There's a beauty of, and for me, I think what I experienced was there's a place called Kizingo Barbecue. When you sit, there's a beauty about Mombasa. There's an element of when you sit at night and you're having your meal and everybody is seated by the roadside, and then you can have tea. Some of my colleagues and I, when I tanga tea gang, you can sit and have tea and do that. So there's a beauty about that. But also in ensuring tourist attraction, also we cannot ignore the fact that also there's an element of uchafu in the city. The city is not clean. How is that hurting the tourism sector?
Yeah, you see, those are part of the challenges that we're facing in a growing town.
Yeah.
Those are common challenges that we're facing. But what is it that we're doing is a county government?
Yes.
There are a lot of that we are doing. And I think once you invite CC for environment here, she'll be able to expound on that one. Because I don't want her to pull the cat out of the bag. But there's something that we're doing, massive something that will change, a game changer toward the environment,
the cleanliness.
The cleanliness of the town. I think one maybe you call her to this Nini, she can give you the shout about it. There's something massive we are doing. It's a game changer. You see, cleaning the town starts with me and you. It's the habit. It's not something that we can overnight say that, because 50% of our employees comes from the environment. This tell you something. Our bloated wage bill comes from, there must be something scientific we must do about it, and that start with us, from the household.
Would you say that has affected your sector in any way?
Of course it is. Of course, a clean environment, because the tourists wants to come to a clean environment, and that doesn't mean that we're not doing anything about it. The Department of Environment, they're working on it, and we have seen some results. You can see a lot of improvement from where we were to where. But you see, at the same time, this thing starts with a common mwananchi. We should not shy away from saying, because hizi uchafu zimetoka wapi? Hajileta pale barabarani, si ndio? This is a habit ya mtu kwamba unatoa uchafu, unapatia mtu 200-300, utakujua anapeleka uchafu wapi. Anatoa uchafu kwa nyumba, anabaga barabarani. These are things that we need strategically to face it out, because that responsibility must be your responsibility from the household, and you must know up to the last point. So those are the things, that mechanism that we're putting in place, and very soon it yields results.
All right then. Yep, we have been speaking to Mohamed Osman Ali. He's the CECM Tourism, Culture and Trade, Mombasa County. What we're saying to you right now is we need you to be part of the UN Tourism Week that will be taking place on the 24th all the way to 27th. For more information, you can check Tourism Expo. That's a social media site, the Tourism Expo.
Yeah.
Yes, Tourism.
Mombasa Explore.
Mombasa.
Explore Mombasa.
Oh, Explore Mombasa. Explore Mombasa. On social media platforms, you'll find every single information. Now, from us to you, Salim na mimi tunasema adios. It's exactly 10, time for us to step out. It's been a good morning. Bye.